Alrighty guys, what is going on, chill investors? Alright guys, I am super excited for what's going on in the community that we have available to everyone that is completely free. Just come on in, pop in, say hi, just sit in the background, whatever you'd like, just come support, see what's kind of going on, alright? As you can see right there on the screen, there's a QR code. Link will be in the description of the video as well. So I just want to go over exactly what our community is all about. Kind of things that we're doing and what to look forward to. All right. So first, when you pull up the Discord, once you get in there, do the link and everything. The link will actually end up taking you to a place like this. All right. You'll go ahead and hit the subscribe. It's free, chill investing community. And then we're going to go into what our indicator is all about, because we do have only limited spots to the Founders Club, which is this 50% off price. And that price is going to be locked in for life. All right. So, but the free community is right here. If you are going to join the community and want the indicator, free community link will be inside the indicator one as well. But go ahead and click on that. It'll take you to a place that looks a lot like this. When you have the free community right here, go ahead and put your Discord account name and go ahead and claim access. Okay. Pretty straightforward on that part. If you go ahead and you do have the indicator, there is the must-watch tutorials right here. The elite one is going to be the two main indicators that I use, and that's all I use are these two indicators. Okay, the name might change to Chill Diamond Elite or something like that, but whatever one or two indicators are in this elite indicators, those are the two that are the main. This allows you to have 10 indicators, right, with only using 2 spots on TradingView. TradingView limits the free accounts to only using 2 indicators at a time. I was able to merge about 10 indicators into 2, so that way free TradingView users have access to use it and don't require another subscription to use the indicators. And when I say it's like 15 or 10 indicators into 2, I'm not saying it's like the simple indicators. Like this is basically essentially just go ahead, follow the charts, buy, trim, sell, add, automatic trend lines, Bollinger Bands, automatic are what we use for the bull and bear moving average is built into that, as well as I'm going to forget a few things, I'm sure, but you do have a momentum histogram. The MACD lines are overlapping our histogram, and you do have bullish and bearish divergences on our momentum histogram. Okay, so you get a lot. If you think about it, if you're able to get into our limited Founders Club TradingView subscription, in order to use 5 subscriptions, is $15 a month. Okay, think about that. $15 a month just to get to use indicators. Now, what I'm offering you guys is the indicators, $20 a month for the Founders Club, and you don't have to pay for TradingView. So ultimately, you're just getting mine for $5, and you can use 10 indicators that are all built in, and we'll use this in the video. But those are those two. That's all you need. There are some extras in here that I have built, and I'm just going to leave up. But the Momentum 2-hour daily, weekly, monthly, that one is now built into the Elite, so you don't need that one. So that one might be off. SMI is good. The MACD, which is on the other one, but I will leave it separate. And then if you are into the wheel strategy, we do have that as well. Okay, so these are separate, but the main two of running the full strategy of which we run, all you really need and will need are these two. Okay, so that's how it is. You just put your TradingView in there, claim indicators. If you have any questions, you can obviously message me inside of Discord, but there is the how-to, exactly how to set up your chart, how the indicator works. Okay, so that is there. That's how you get the Discord. That's how you do the indicators. When you're in the Discord, guys, you're going to have our welcome section. Anytime we post any YouTube videos, you're going to get notified. Anytime I post on X, because I do post a lot of charts and like thoughts and everything on X as well. And sometimes if I'm out and about and I can't really get to the Discord, I post on X. It'll notify you guys inside of Discord, which is very important. If we do any live streams, just kind of quick talks, we do it in here on the live stream tab. Here's some free stuff, some resources, our academy, free courses. This is so far right now on the wheel strategy. And then the trial run. And we have a referral program for the indicator as well. As of right now, if you join our referral program, and get into the Founders Club, all it'll take it doesn't matter. This is like ongoing. But once you get 20 people referred that are also using the indicator, those 20 people essentially that are constantly, part of the team and the membership every month will essentially be paying for your indicator. And the goal is the community grows together, and which allows everyone to basically refer each other and get your indicator free. Your friend can get their indicator for free over the course, of like a year, maybe. Just depends on how active you are in the community and everything, but getting people referred can benefit you as well as the indicator itself is going to make you some money. All right. If we have trades, this is where our trades will go, portfolio updates and everything. We do have stock bots. All right. These just went live today. Bullish diamond alert, bearish diamond alert. So all you're going to want to do is just go ahead and take a look at that ticker and see what's going on. A diamond has appeared. It's important to figure out what action you want to take place. Going forward, sorry. Going forward, the bearish diamond alert will be red, not green. It should have done it, but I fixed it now. But yeah, we get bullish diamonds, bearish diamonds. This is always going to be on the daily time frame. Maybe later on I'll add other alerts, but for the most part, daily just seems to be the middle ground to trade from. So you will get alerts here. They happen at the end of the day. The weeklies, once we eventually get weeklies in here, those will happen every Friday because we wait till close. We want to confirm that the diamond actually happened. They will populate live during the day. But imagine a stock goes up, right, 5-6%. We get a diamond alert that momentum is taking off. And the other indicator, there's a couple indicators into a diamond, but for the main part, momentum is moving. And it says you should buy. But in that same day, it went from 5% down to 4%, and now it's no longer says to buy, right? You want to wait for confirmation of the day to close. Gosh, I'm so sorry. All right. I don't have anything to drink. I do. There we go. Alrighty. So we have our profits. Okay, guys. So we'll post our profits in here, guys. I'm going to say they're pretty good. Year to date, this is just today. So yesterday. So his year to date up 33%. Just in this first week of the year. Market analysis, just these quick links to Polymarket earnings, our earnings calendars, rate cut probability quick link, fear greed index, just so you guys can have quick access to things I just look at to see how the market is overall looking. And that way you just always have access to this. Our chat room, we post charts, we just talk, get opinions inside of here. Same thing, but this is the crypto side, so crypto chat, talk, all that kind of stuff. Then we just have general chat if you're wanting to talk about anything specific, not stock specific or anything like that. And then we have, we have the stock charts. Stock charts are just me updating the charts. So there's no chatting happening, but this is the easiest way for the community to fully be able to keep track. Because if I throw in all these charts, which we were doing today because I got this set up today, hard to find the chart or company that you're interested in. If I do it this way, you can go ahead and search. So I could search, if I was looking for temp, if I was looking for HIMS, right? You can go ahead and search the ticker and see it, and then you can go ahead and look at the charts as they have gone through and updated. So that's the best way. If you are interested in a certain stock, you can go ahead, I think right click on here, notifications, you can turn it on to all, you could unfollow, you can follow it, because right now it has me following because I wrote all the posts, but if I right click on this, I can unfollow and it'll delete. So you can follow specific tickers that you want to follow and keep track. No sense in following companies you don't care about, but you can easily keep track. So that's what's going on. Our free community. Um, Join, tell friends, come in, say hi. If you just want to sit in the corner and read what everyone's posting, go for it. Right? This is completely open, completely free. We are just a community, and it's great to see all the feedback we're getting inside of here. People are extremely happy. We've grown very quickly. Looking to grow more. Sorry, I'm still sick. Trying to get over it. But that's what I got for you guys. Community indicator. I will go over the indicator a little bit right now, just so you guys can see. ASTS is like a perfect example of one that we followed all these trades and we have all the gains to show for it. Man, I'm so sorry about this in the video. I thought I was good enough to start doing more videos. Alrighty. So this is what the indicator looks like. Okay. Now you're not going to have the 5 drop downs because I edit and do things to try to make it better and tweak it on the backside to eventually maybe do another update if it needs it. So don't worry about this stuff, but you'll have 1 and you'll have the 2. That's all you need. That's all I use. Eventually, like I said, I am working on the 2-hour, the weekly, and the monthly. As of right now, I just stick with the daily, and you can still mess with the weekly, but I'm trying to fine tune that weekly to make it even better. But if you go to your settings, these are all the settings. So I'll just show every setting so you can see what this looks like. Okay. So, and what each things are. Okay. So let's start with number 1. We're going to start with the show, buy, add, trim, sell labels. Okay. So here you are. You have these labels here. And as you can see, the labels do fairly well at finding the bottom and finding the tops, right? They tend to actually label before the diamond comes in. So this is why we have the labels. The labels aren't there to tell you to do it right then and there. The labels are there to tell you that typically the company has hit a specific value. Okay. Company has hit a specific value fundamentally, financially, and basically these values tend to be the point where people start thinking of trimming, which it was. Look, they went up. We got double trim because it hit both those. So there's like 3 trim targets along the way, because it's always good to trim, take your profits along the way. If you're a sell all person, I mean, it's really hard to time that top to sell it all, because you could done here, right, take some trims, but if you sold all here, then you kind of missed out on a little bit more. But you can do trim. But labels typically are where we see trimming take place, trimming took place, right? And then adding is typically where we start seeing buyers starting to step in. Sure enough, we got some buyers stepping in. We had a little bit more of a dip, but they came in. Same thing, add, the buyers came in. Okay, add came in, buyers came in, and so forth. Okay. That is what the labels are meant to be. They are not meant to be the alert to do it. This is just saying where typically you should start looking to be making an action. Okay. So when this ad came in, great. I'm looking to add and I'm waiting for our diamond confirmations. So there's our ad. Wait a little bit. Diamond confirmation, right? Boom. Good to go. Okay. Same thing here. Got an ad, 2 days later, green diamond. Okay. We got a green diamond again. So, and then here we go. We got trims, and then we got a diamond to confirm momentum was shifting. And then you got a trim and diamond confirm momentum was shifting. You got an ad, Next day, a diamond. Okay. So these tend to be points where actions do need to start looking to be made, but they're not telling you to make the action themselves. Okay. Just tells you where buyers and sellers tend to be and to just be aware. Okay. The diamonds are what confirm what is happening. Okay. So just know labels, just give us a heads up where we are on the chart and when we should start expecting to see some action being taken by others, and if we should prepare ourselves to take action as well. Okay. Bull bear line. I know there's two, but anyway, I guess I didn't hide it. This is just our moving average, essentially. I back tested quite a few moving averages, found what's kind of best. If you want your own moving average to trade against, go ahead and do that. But I wanted to make sure I put our moving average on there. For anyone who has the free TradingView version, we'll have a moving average, because if you use our two indicators, TradingView doesn't let you add a third one for a moving average. So we wanted to go ahead and put our bull bear line out there. Obviously, if we're above it, we're bullish, and if we're below it, we're bearish. And that's what we use. So as long as we're above this, which we have been, right? If you were in this before, awesome. I wasn't, but I've been in it ever since, and I've done very well on all of these. If you take a look here, we could have bought anywhere from this high, I guess, and still gone up to this pink, which would have still been a nice 40% return, even if you bought at this high. Okay. And you could have bought some at this high too, but even if you bought some there and sold some there, that's a 7%. But if you also dollar cost average down, could have got somewhere in the 18, 35%, somewhere in there. And then if we go ahead and grab this one, go to this one, 125% return, or you held out maybe and you got out to here, 165. That's pretty good. And then we had the big one, which was nice. Another 143, right? And now another diamond. And now we are currently sitting at another 85% return. Okay. The diamonds work, the zones work. So that is what the moving average is all about. We like to trade when we are above the moving average because we know that there is support, opposed to being in a falling knife. And I will explain and show you what a falling knife looks like with this indicator, because when something is, like example, United Health or NVO, fall below their 200 moving average, it's a great buy. It's a great opportunity. It's a great opportunity long term. And now, is it something I'm going to trade? No, we're below the 200-day moving average. It's not something I'm looking to trade. I'll wait for it to find its bottom. I'll switch to a weekly, monthly time frame and wait for it to see, and I'll show you guys, but I'll wait for the weekly, monthly to start showing momentum is now shifting, okay? And that tells me that now would be a good time to start looking to get back into it and start looking into trading it. Okay, so that's what we do. We don't trade it on the daily time frame. When it is below this, we start looking at the bigger time frames. Okay, that'll save you tons of money, make way less mistakes, because this is all about buying and selling companies at low values and selling at high values during a bull run. Okay, making sure you hit these waves. Okay. That's what's important. On to the next one. So you have the bull line. So trade above it. Obviously, if you're into shorting things, then do that when it's below it. Then we have Bollinger Bands. So if you don't know what Bollinger Bands are, we run them for the wheel strategy specifically, but placing covered calls and cash secured puts is a big part of how we make money in between a lot of cycles. Like, for example, this section right here. Okay. We didn't sell. We didn't listen to these diamonds. We didn't really, no, we didn't listen to these diamonds. Okay. And the reason we didn't do it, gosh, I'm so sorry, guys. The reason we didn't do it is we, one, believe in the company ASTS, and it paid off for us. Don't get me wrong. Like, obviously, things can always go wrong, but we believed in the company, so we just continued accumulating all the way to this point. But these zones right here, this little light pink you're entering, and I'll show you what that means next time, but these are the times where you can set covered calls. When you get to these light green zones areas like this with the gray, that's when you could start doing cash secured puts. Like this would be a cash secured put. I would not buy that one, just to protect yourself from the downside, which this would have. Then you would have got to, man, you would have got to buy those shares, but you wouldn't have bought them at that exact price. You would have bought them at a lower price because you did a cash secured put and you set your strike a little bit lower. That way, if the stock runs up, you still make premium. If the stock does go back down, you are getting to buy it for the price that you actually wanted to buy it, which would have been somewhere on the strike price of, the $20 or $22, somewhere closer to this moving average. Okay. Same thing, covered call maybe on either of these days. And then once you got some sort of bullishness happening, you could close that covered call for whatever little profit may be there, and then go ahead and ride that up. We go over all of this stuff and exactly how to do it. In the community, you can ask me questions. My goal is to make sure everyone understands and can fully run the strategy to its fullest and make money. I'm not all about, you guys, maybe you're going to click off once I say this, but I'm a real, I'm a real person. I'm going to tell you what, not a single person, if anyone ever claims they can time the bottom and time the top, they're crazy. Okay. I can't time the bottom. I can't time the top. What I can do is wait for confirmation that the top is in. So, gosh, so sorry, guys. So the top was in, right, these 2 days before, and then we got confirmation it was going down. Okay. So sure enough, and by the way, our strategy when doing back testing is actually more successful on buying the day after the diamond. Buying the day after, closing the day after. Why? Well, there's two examples, okay? And I think it just counterbalances and basically it just doesn't matter. But when you sell on the day of, typically because this came in, momentum was shifting down, so it's probably a pretty fair down day. Usually the next day you could get a slight open a little better because it was so down. People step in a little bit and you'll probably get a slightly better selling point than what the close was. Okay. But the other way around that, so sorry guys, is that when you sell and they continue to go up, now companies when they're super undervalued or super young in their like world, right, it becomes overvalued extremely fast. Purple means sell all, don't even touch it, like give it a second. Okay, just get out. But you'll see this. So if you did sell and it kept going, right, the next day would have been higher. So that's why they say, the buy alert momentum carried up 15% in one day. Well, probably tomorrow is going to be a slight pullback and you can get in and momentum still upward as a whole. So they say to make the purchase the day after the diamond, but up to you if you're going to just do it right then and there or wait till the following day. If you, man, I'm going to have to like edit this whole thing. All right. So, where were we? Diamonds, confirmations, what were we on? Bollinger Bands. So yeah, covered calls, cash secured puts. What I was saying is that no one's going to time the top, no one's going to time the bottom. What I'm doing is confirming that the momentum has shifted, and now I'm not going to catch 100% of the move, but I'm going to catch, I think, about 90, 80%, 90, 85% of the move. I'm going to catch a good chunk of that move, and that's all that matters. If anyone says they're going to buy the bottom and sell the top, that's immediately going to be a scam. So I hope that you realize me just saying that makes me a real person. But it doesn't time the bottom, but it sure enough gets close enough to it. So Diamond's not going to trigger on this update the day before, right? It's not going to trigger there. It's going to trigger on the momentum shifting to the downside. That way you can get out and not follow and not hold this whole way. Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, I could have sold it for this. Take your win. Take it. Okay? Because you would have been mad. You're mad not selling it at 102. You're okay. Like this was 85, 90. Like this is a bad red day. Yeah. If you wait till the next day, I think so close was 83 and then open was 88 the next day. This is the part where you would have made $5 if you just waited till open to sell it. Okay. So, but you would have sold it somewhere in the 80s and you could have picked it back up in the 50s, right? So that's why the momentum is so important, is to just go ahead and take it. And again, here's your little gray zones. Light pinks, you don't have to follow these. There's like kind of three options. You can do covered calls, you can ignore it, or you can trim. If you want to follow those as trims, you can go ahead and trim along the way. I typically will just do a covered call or ignore the neutral zone moves. I don't like the neutral zone moves or light pink and light green, but it's just telling me exactly where we're creeping up to. So we're creeping up to the selling zone and we're creeping into the buying zone. Okay. So, and speaking of zones, let's go ahead and do the legends. Okay. So, sorry, I like ASTS because it kind of gives me everything in one chart. So I just kind of keep using it as an example. But here's your light green entering a buy zone. Okay. That just means you're getting close. Okay. Doesn't mean you're in there, but I wanted something to code into that lets you guys know you're approaching. So you knew that, okay, we're getting to a pretty good opportunity. I should probably start keeping an eye on it. Same thing here, right? Light green went up, gray, light green, gray, light green. Okay. Buy zone, neon green. Okay. That is this section right here. This is the buy zone. Okay. That is the lowest and most undervalued section. When a company is the least undervalued, this is the color. Okay. You're typically going to get green diamonds in the green bars. Okay. That is your buy zones. And then you have your add zones, which will be your neon yellow colors. Okay. So it typically will go from green, light green to entering the buy zone. You're now in the add zone and now you're in the buy zone. Okay. So you're entering, you're in the add, you're in the buy. Got it? This just went neutral to yellow. Okay. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes it's probably because this day looked pretty bad. Yeah, it was like here. I mean, yeah, it took a pretty good beat down that day. So instead of trickling into this, it just went straight into the add zone. And then 2 days later, we got a confirmation in the add zone. Go ahead and add. Neutral, the light gray, if it's populating, it's in a neutral zone. Okay. It's not a great opportunity. It's not a bad opportunity. And I can show you an example actually right now, because I do believe, and you typically don't get diamonds in the neutral zone, but if you do, like I said, it's up to you. It's neutral. What you want to do. Maybe you already trimmed enough. You don't need to trim again, right? It's all up to you and how you're doing your positions. But for example, path right now was one of the ones that we were talking about in our group. We have huge targets and like this company, but here it is, light green, yellow, sure enough. And now we got neutral. And I think right now, yep, our momentum flipped on this histogram. No diamond's going to print. Why? Company's not undervalued enough. It's not a clear as day, like no brainer buy, right? We want to make those buys the best we possibly can. We don't want to go ahead and take the, 50-50. It could go up, but it also could come a little further down, right? I don't want to alert you on those. You can make your assessment on that. But I want to make sure you guys are getting this opportunity down here to up here, down here to up here, right? You cut some of that and maybe you did trim and it went down. Now you can go ahead and buy a little more because you took your gains up top a little higher, right? So that's for you to determine exactly how you want to play it. I have my rules, and those will become available soon. I'm just finalizing and running all the back tests and making sure everything works. But that is going to be one of the rules about the neutral zones, and I don't go ahead and play it unless it's something I just truly believe in long term. But I only trade if I believe in it long term. I don't buy a company just because a trade opportunity potentially is there. I got to believe in the company, because if anything bad happens in the company or in the macro news or whatever, I want to know that I feel confident holding the company through whatever potential macro noise news is coming out that I just can't control. Okay. So that's an example of the neutral zone takeoff and everything like that. Next, you got trim. So you got your trim zones, which is going to be the orange. Typically where I would be looking to take trims, meaning, as you can see, we have bright red, right? Here's like the trim zone, and this is when you start getting into the sell zone. So trim, because it wasn't a huge pullback. It still is a pullback, and he still trimmed twice. But now you can go ahead and add again, and we got another trim again up here, add again. So we haven't gone to the point where ASTS has really gone to the point where it's super overvalued or squeezed too much that we actually got into a sell zone. Again, the zones are basically how I like to phrase it, is that the zones tell me what I should do, and the diamonds confirm that action. Meaning, okay, we are in the trim zone. Diamond confirmed I should trim. That makes sense? Okay. We are entering a buy zone. It's not a super, sexy buy zone. This is more sexy, right? This is more undervalued, better opportunity. Doesn't mean this can't go far, but if I'm trying to figure out if the risk is worth it, this could technically go further down. The moving average is down here. It's not that great. This is closer to the moving average than this is closer, right? So the value for you to buy it is not as good. So whether or not you choose to buy right here, or you just like, if you were going to buy, total ASTS, you want 500 shares. Well, maybe this is like a 50 share opportunity, right? It's not as good. Then that's just an example, right? All educational purposes. That could be a 50 ad, right? This is like a little more undervalued. Maybe that's a 100 ad out of the, So how you position size, but the zones help you understand how great of an opportunity it is to load up and buy more. For example, load up, buy more. Load up here, right? These aren't load ups. These are neutral zones, neutral zone, neutral zones. Okay? Neutral zone. Load up. Add. This is up to you. Light green, that is you could do a cash secured put. You could just go ahead and add or do nothing. So the zones help you understand the action you should take, and the diamonds confirm when to do it. Okay. So entering a sell zone, this is up to you, but it landed on a neutral because the down day put it into a neutral zone. Not interested. I'm interested, and I'm interested, right? Trim zone. Not so much. Not interested. When I believe in a company long term, I don't really want to take those little wins. I want to take more of the bigger wins, even though it takes a little bit longer of time. Just more of a long term mindset as much as I can be. Obviously, I take my wins along the way, but I look for the bigger moves. I don't want the little moves here. Okay. Sell zone is the red. Same thing. Once you enter the red, now you can start looking to sell. How you position your sizing and all that kind of stuff is completely up to you. I think obviously when you hit trims, it's less than when you hit the sell area. Same thing with the same way you would buy it, right? If a company's like light green, you're gonna only add 50. If it's in the add, you're gonna add 100. If it's in the buy zone, you're gonna add 150. Same thing. If I'm entering the sell zone, I'm gonna sell 50. Trim, I'm gonna sell 100. If I'm in the trim zone, sell 100. If I'm in the sell zone, I'll sell 150. Right? I scale it. Right? The more overvalued the company goes, the more I should go ahead and let go. Okay. So it's a whole scaling system. So there you are. I'm actually going to change the name of the diamonds, but purple means sell all. You can go ahead and short. If you are to short, again, I rarely have shorted. I think I have shorted once or twice in my life. Profitable both times, but I don't do it often. I make sure it's a truly, and like, I'm gonna rant, but the market over the course of, I don't know how long the market's been open, 40 years. We have had a positive return of 10%. Placing a put, again, single stock is a little different, but overall, the market in general tends to go up every year. I don't like betting that a stock is going to go down because on average, they go up. So, but if I was to short, it would be a purple, and I can explain why. One, this is a super young company, but even if you did short that day, you would go ahead and still get that short. How do I do my shorts? I do my shorts on the purple diamond because typically that is an up day. So you do it on the purple diamond, and then you would close it once you're up, and you get the first positive confirmation. Okay. I don't care if it's green. I don't care if it's yellow. I don't care what the color is. Just go ahead and close it on the first confirmation. Okay. Why? Because now we're starting to get some bullish momentum of any sort, and I don't want to be on the other side of the short, right? Any sign of anything bullish, I should go ahead and just close it. Another example is ONDS. There you go. There's your purple nearly at the top. And then you would have wrote it all the way down, and there's your first confirmation. If you have, I think it's IREN, same thing. There's your purple. Sure enough, you did have a down. You could have went ahead and closed it if you just wanted to close it yourself. Got a bounce. You probably were a little bit scared, but then we went ahead and got to our yellow, and you could have closed it. The other one I do believe is UUUUU. And there's your purple. You can go ahead and short. Close everything you got, short it, and then go ahead and close your short right here on the confirmation of anything bullish. That's how I do it. Have there been outliers? Yes, absolutely. There's always going to be an outlier in the world. That outlier, I'm sure you can name it. Let's say it all together. Palantir, okay? It happens. There's only a few companies that can just do what Palantir has done over the course of time. There is your purple, right? You're probably terrified. You did get a moment to get out yourself, but it wasn't based on that confirmation, okay? Now, what you could do, if you take a look at our histogram here, here is your purple, okay? And sure enough, you were in the green. As far as your short goes, you were probably positive on that trade, and then you got a flip positive momentum. You could have gotten out in the neutral zone if you thought momentum was shifting up, okay? So if you're watching it closer, go ahead and manage it yourself. As far as what I typically do, because there's not too many Palantirs in the world, I go ahead and I do close on the diamond. This would have been a terrifying moment. But I never do any naked puts or anything, so I know how much I'm willing to lose on my puts when I do place them. But that's just an example of one of the outliers. In the early years of companies, I wouldn't do it too. I want something that's actually have some history to it, like Rocket Lab, for example, or the ASTS, because when it was super early on, this company become overvalued extremely quickly. But typically, when a company actually has, like, if ASTS actually got a purple candle now, it wouldn't just continue running past it. It actually has a value that they can calculate and now outpace extremely fast. So, all right, that is the legend. Confirmations. Okay, that's what I meant to say. Purple, sell all, do the short. Okay, we're there. Yellows are, what do I want to say? Yellow is a strong confirmation. A green is a stronger confirmation. And what does that mean? That means that the momentum is, one, a little stronger, okay? Two, that means the company is a little more undervalued, okay? So they both play a part. The value of the company and how much momentum is put behind it, okay? As you can see, as of right now, the green ones have been straight shots, green straight shots, right? Building up here. And I'm going to go over what this all means down here in a second. But Go ahead, straight shot. We kind of just moved up, but we got another one green. Boom, 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 boom. We get a yellow here. It's a little bit more choppy, right? Not as much momentum carrying through. So that's what that kind of means. Same thing goes the opposite way. An orange diamond is strong. A red diamond is stronger, meaning here's your red, little dip, red, big dip, up, red, big dip. Here's your orange, little dip, little dip. Okay. Here's your orange, little dip, little dip. So it can't, it doesn't mean they won't be big dips. It just means it's not as likely when you get these reds. Another example I'm sure would be like Rocket Labs, I'm sure. Yeah, here we go. We got to a sell zone with a red. Then we got a green. Here's a nice quicker shot up, right? Here's a red, right? We just kind of plateaued here and boom, and then came back down. Even if you sold here and you're like, oh man, I wish I never freaking sold, blah, blah, blah. Well, you could buy again and you would still buy it for cheaper. Okay. Here's your neutral zone slight reds. This is why I say I don't really take these diamonds too much. I mean, you could do, like I said, cover calls or something and set some higher targets. But typically I will kind of ignore them unless for whatever reason I'm over leveraged or, need to manage my portfolio and need to do something. But other than that, typically not playing this game. But I want you guys to have the alerts. That way you guys, can make the decisions for yourself and manage your portfolio. I would hate to be like, oh, the indicator didn't go off and the stock went down. No, the indicator went down. The indicator lets you know momentum was shifting. It's kind of choppy, as you can see. That's why the indicator was doing that. It was but that's why I put my rules and how I do things is on neutrals. I don't do anything on light pinks. Could I take a slight trim? Sure. If I felt that it was overvalued, undervalued. But overall, orange isn't as strong as what a red is. We can go to another one, I'm sure, if we go to hymns. So we got red diamonds for sure. Boom. Here's your light green. Again, I would do a CSP on that one. Then you got the yellow with the green diamond, double green diamond on the double bottom at the moving average. I don't know if you guys know what double bottoms are, but they're pretty good, especially with the green diamond. Sure enough, we got a red, got a yellow and a neutral. I wouldn't have played it. Could have played this one if you wanted to, a light pink. Okay. Double greens. And you got some choppy 4 or 5 diamonds before going ahead. Now we're at a double bottom with the triple greens happening here. So we're going to see if we can make a move back. But typically, like I said, when I get below this moving average, guess what? I'm not looking at the daily time frame, and I will show you why. Okay, let me just make sure we're done with our first indicator. Trend lines. No, we're not done. Let's go to the trend lines. There's a few charts out there that look really good. I'm going to go ahead and go back to our ASTS as our default. Let me go ahead and hide that. And let's see active trend lines. So this is what active trend lines look like. It automatically is going to chart those trend lines for you. It's amazing. It's a specific trend line. It's not going to be what you would probably just draw based on a YouTube video you watched on how to do a trend line. It is going to be a specific pivot point that again, tons of back testing, and that's what we're rolling with. But sure enough, I think you would have grabbed that trend line with the 3 bottoms there. Would you have grabbed this one? I don't know. Probably not. But if you did, you might have grabbed this one, maybe. I don't know. Let's see what that trend line looks like. And you can draw your own trend lines. I mean, that's the point is that you can quickly glance. There you go. There's a different trend line. So do you want that trend line? That's up to you. Based on what the formula is that we put into this, it grabbed the other trend line. Okay. But I would say it's pretty dang close and quickly auto generating for you guys. That way you can quickly load any stock and you will go ahead and have your auto trend lines. Here's your auto trend line again. Boom, boom, boom. Guess what? We hit this today and we are meeting a little bit of resistance. Trend lines seem to be working. Okay. What's another one that's got a good one? I think Zeta. Yeah, here you go. Zeta. It drew these auto trend line. Okay. It went ahead, went up, and retested it before it just went higher. Okay. Let's go to, I think, ONDS. Okay. Those are the trend lines it had. Boom, boom, boom. We're going ahead and break out. Okay. IRN, do we got some trend lines? Yep, there's your big trend lines. Found support there, got that trend line. So we got some room to the upside. Okay. So it's auto charting trends for you guys. So when you mix momentum to the downside with the trend line hitting, that's spelling a whole sell for you. Okay. Rocket Lab didn't give me any sort of down momentum for a sell yet. So I'm there, but I see that there's resistance because we have the trend line on Rocket Lab's chart, right? So, but this is auto charting. Now, guess what? We're not done. We're not just having one trend line. We're going to go ahead and have the previous trend line history. That way you can see that. So here's the previous trend line. They are lightly like 50% occupancy, just slightly not as bold, so that way you knew it was the previous trend line that was being used before the most active used one is happening. So here it is. It was a wider triangle, and now we were able to hone in on this triangle, and sure enough, we broke it, came back, retested it, and went higher. Okay. Trend line one alone, guys, telling you guys, it is worth it. Auto trend lines are killing it for us right now. We've hit tons of breakouts. For example, the one we got into yesterday at 575 on this green diamond. I saw that we met resistance and we got a green diamond. Just made me feel really confident in it. I have some extra drawings of my own on this chart, but if you take a look here, here's the trend line, but it clearly kind of lost it, so it carried on, and now we have this other trend line that populated. Moving average is right there. We got a green diamond support of momentum. We went ahead and bought. That was my thought process right then and there. I quickly just loaded this chart, right? Just load it, trend line, cool, green diamond pop. As we're coming up to resistance, that means momentum is going up, which should trigger the breakout moment. And that's what's happening here. We have a moving average right here. So therefore, I have very little downside risk. If we lost this support, yeah, then I would take a losing trade. Okay. That would be the thought process, right? I already have support there. Where's my stop loss? I really don't want to lose this support. The moving average could go down, I think was like the 465. So 20% loss, but I don't think it was there. The momentum said to the upside, downtrend line was right there. The fact that it gave us a diamond as it was touching the downtrend line is pretty insane. So yeah, that was our quick trade thought process. Okay, I'm going to switch on over now that you guys see trend lines. Here's your previous trend lines. Hopefully all that makes sense. Now, this is your momentum. Okay, this is all about momentum here. Okay, so we have divergences. Divergences are your red and green labels. Okay, what does that mean? Well, that means momentum is going down, but the price is going up. Divergence. That is giving you a heads up that the price is moving in the opposite direction of your momentum. Sure enough, divergence happened, right? Price was going up, momentum trickling down. You can see it. Look, stare down. 1, 2, 3. Momentum going up on those 3 candles. Boom, boom, boom. And sure enough, we have it falling. Now we have the price. We have a divergence here. Okay. Look at this. This is what a divergence is. And you can always draw it yourself, but we have it for you. Here is the divergence. Do you see that this momentum has been shifting down the whole time this price was going down? So momentum was looking to flip. Now momentum wants to shift up while the price was going down. That is what the divergence is. So when you see those, you want to be aware of what's going on up here. If I see a divergence and all of a sudden now I see some trim action happening, some notifications, I would say take a hint, something along those lines. Where's some other ones? Here you go. Price going down. This is a perfect color combo thing right here. Entering the sell zone. You are in the trim zone. You are in the sell zone, trim zone. You are entering a sell zone, add zone, buy zone, add zone. Okay? That's how that works. You got 4 green diamonds, plenty of opportunities to buy. You did have a divergence label because the price was going down. We got the buys, and sure enough, divergence took its action and went ahead. Here's your divergence here. Okay? Again, price was going up, momentum at the time was going down, and it did trickle down a little bit, right? It's not going to be as big of a divergence if the stock isn't super overvalued or super undervalued, okay? So that's how the divergences happen. Price was, let's see here, price was going, let's see, where's our, oh, okay, I got you. So here's your divergence on this one. There to there. This was going down while the stock was going up. Sure enough, we got the little trim. We went down, and back up. So that's how that works. Sorry. I thought we were going to get through it the rest of the way. Yeah, it's 2 a.m. and I'm drinking an energy drink. I'm going to sleep great tonight. Alrighty. So what I want to then go over, now that we've talked about the divergences, is the momentum. This is going to be your momentum. And can I hide the MACD line just for you guys? I think so. There you go. And I'll get rid of the divergences. Oh, it's got 2 MACD lines. Interesting. Okay, I'll fix that. Anyway, this is your momentum, okay? As you can see, momentum is creeping towards, this is the bullish, this is bearish, okay? So which direction is this going towards? Bearish momentum. Got it? Bullish momentum. Bearish momentum. Bullish. So you can see, let's see right here. Here you go. Bearish, 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 bullish, bullish, bullish. Okay? That's all it's doing. It's a histogram of our bullish momentum or bearish momentum. Just momentum as a whole. It is going to tell you. So you can see as it's creeping closer, it's about to flip to positive momentum again. Sure enough, here's the flip to positive momentum right there on this candle. Boom. And sure enough, we carried up a little bit more. But we did have momentum. Like, take a look, guys. Momentum is shifting down. Boom. Down. Candle or diamond. Okay. Momentum. These are just momentum confirmations that momentum has flipped. Okay. But we want to take those momentum when we are in certain zones and do something about it. Okay. That's why we do them. So that's how the momentum histogram works. Okay. Not every time it flips, it's a buy or it's a sell, right? Because you want to be in an actual buy, sell area. You want to be in here to do it. You want to be in here. Guess what? I don't want to be in these little gray zones. I'm not doing gray stuff. I want some big wins, right? Could you have bought here? Yeah, absolutely, if you wanted to. But when were we screaming buy? When we're at the moving average with the 4 buy alerts, coming into play. Those are where you want to start thinking about buying. So that's how that works. All right. That's how the momentum is shifting and showing you exactly, where is the momentum, bullish or bearish, upside to downside. Okay. Now, I think you guys have all used a MACD, and MACD's lag. Okay. Yeah, it's got 2. I'll delete one. But MACD's lag. And what do I mean by that? Okay. We will see right here. Momentum flipped. The MACD hasn't crossed yet. Okay. But why do I use this? Well, I see that the MACD, I can see here when this happened, right? The MACD was curling, right? You can see right here, slight curve, right? What do you see when this flipped bullish? Nothing. I don't see any curving happening. Okay. So go ahead. What do I see on this one? I see some curling happening, right? What do I see? I see some twisty ties, right? What do you see on this one? You see it, the slight pink was starting to curl up. Okay. That's what you're looking for. MACD, sorry. The MACD lags, yes, but it helps me understand the full trend that is going on here. Okay. Now let's go to ASTS because I love it. Okay. Here's your cross. If you wait for the cross, well, guess what? The cross happened on the same day of this down day. That's like another confirmation for you. Okay, what do we get? A buy here, and the cross was about to happen. It was really close, so I would go ahead and confirm, right? The MACD is just another way for you to look quickly at something and say, is it close to crossing? Is it not close to crossing, right? How far away are we? It's just another line to show you bullish bearishness, okay? But if you wait for this cross every time, it's not always going to pair up, okay? We've done a lot to try to get it to pair as close as we can without being too quick to trigger and too laggy to catch the right move, okay? So that's your MACD. It's overall momentum. Just kind of helps me fully understand because inside of these little things, we're going to get this momentum flips, right? And your goal really is to be buying when the MACD is when the MACD is on the bottom half of this histogram. And your goal is to be selling somewhere when the MACD is up top. Okay. I'm not a huge fan, and it doesn't happen very often, but if this popped a buy alert here and the MACD is up top, I'm not buying. Why? Because the MACD is already up top. I should be buying when the MACD is at the bottom. These are like little wins. I'm not trying to look at little wins. I want to wait for the exact moment to get into a big win, like we did. I mean, BBAI, we bought yesterday, nice 10% win off the diamond, right? That's awesome. That's a small win right now. Could be a big win. I'm going to keep my eyes on it and everything like that. But that's exactly what I'm looking for. But what I want are these Rocket Lab and ASTS ones that we've done so well. That when we bought at the right zone, we're up 80% right now. We haven't done any trimming yet. But if we did buy on this zone, right, we were up 44%. It's still a win. I'm not saying it's not, but if I lean into things during these moments, it's far greater, okay? And we have trend line support. We got moving average. I knew where the downside risk was, right? I knew that it could go here. I wasn't adding a ton here. Why? It was light green. It wasn't a yellow. I would do more if it was the yellow, but I already did some of this. We're in it, okay? So, but continue to trade while it's over the moving average. All right. Next thing, no, we got divergence, MACD, histogram. Eventually, it'll all work the same. The weekly, the monthly. I'll go over one of the weeklies just so you can see what that looks like. And this is why, and I'm going to go to the one HIMS. Okay, HIMS is the perfect example. Here's the daily, right? You could buy those, you could buy those. But when I take a look at the bigger picture, because if it's under the 200-day moving average, it most likely means that enough time of downtrending has probably happened, that the weekly will have caught up to it, because the weekly takes a long time. Very rarely do we get diamonds on the weekly, and when we do, they are winners, okay? They just take a little bit longer, but they're big wins, okay? So let's go to the weekly on HIMS, because I know we want it. So if you take a look here, and this is the easiest way to draw a trend line. I mean, man, where's the top of the thing? Where's the top of this like momentum histogram? And do we have a downtrend? Yeah, we do have a downtrend. So momentum is slowly shifting. The MACD is curling. We are in the buy zone. Okay, momentum is going to flip. It's going to be next week, the week before. Okay, I understand that there's downside. There's downside to HIMS. Downside meaning 25. Okay, so, but overall, when a diamond comes into play, and I'm going to wait for the diamond, I'm not going to just get in it to get in it because it's heading that way. I'm going to wait for the diamond, but here was the diamond last time. The diamond was, if you wanted to buy it, $6.18, you would have been able to buy it. Typically, once we're back above Once we are back above the moving average is when I will flip back to the daily chart. Okay. But other than that, I stick to the daily when we are above the moving average. When we flip below the moving average, I will go to the weekly or the monthly. Okay. Perfect example, I think, was NVO was on the monthly. Let me move all these little wins that we were showing earlier. Okay, last time, I can't even scroll back far enough, I don't think. It was like, yeah, 1985 was our last time green monthly diamond. Okay, we are going to get this opportunity probably next month. I don't know if it might trigger by the end of this month. If we have enough bull run here, I think you might get that trigger end of this month. But you got to wait for the end of the month to happen. Will it be somewhere at the 60, 64? Sure. But again, look at that downside. We stopped ourselves from buying it the second it crossed this. We weren't buying it anymore. We're going to wait for the bigger time frames to give us the idea of this. Now, if you went to the weekly instead, and which one do I choose, the weekly or the monthly do I go off of? Well, I wasn't actually looking at NVO until probably the 60 somewhere in here range. So what do? I scale. I look at all of them to figure out what do I want. So let's just take a look at the time frame here. Okay, so let's go to January 2025. Okay, before Green Diamond came into play. Okay, January 2025. Let's go to the monthly. Where's January 2025? Okay, let me just draw the vertical line real quick so you can see what I'm thinking when I see this. January 2025. Boom. What does this look like? Do I see any sort of curling of any sort like this? Do I see momentum is still shifting down? Yes. Okay. I'm not interested. Okay. Let's go to the next month. Right? February. Momentum is shifting. The MACD has no curl. Sorry. Like, now momentum's going back down again. Not interested. Right? Going back down. Okay. Okay, I can start seeing some plateauing happening. So maybe I need to start looking into it, right? Getting a little bit better. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. And now we're to the point where momentum is flipping and the MACD. So now I want to be ready to buy heavy into NVO on this monthly because it doesn't happen often. Monthly opportunities don't happen. Technically, this is probably a good opportunity here, but I think by the time we got a nice flip, yeah, we're kind of entering a sell zone again. Okay. But opportunities don't come too often in the monthly time frame. That is why when they happen, you need to take advantage. Understand that they are long-term plays because they are totally based off of long periods of time, but they are something that you should buy and just set aside. I think on Archer, we're about to get one on the weekly. Archer, weekly. Yeah, there you go. Now the week, remember, the diamonds are never confirmed until the time frame that you're on, the candle closes. So if you're on the weekly time frame, you need technically the week to completely close in order to confirm that the diamond stayed there the whole time. Because let's just imagine that the week, Monday, Tuesday, we're on Wednesday. Wednesday, the stock goes up 16, 20%, right? You buy it. Well, by Friday, macro news, Archer puts out an offering, whatever it may be, now the stock drops right back down that 16% and the diamond is no longer there. Well, you bought. You don't buy. The whole thing is built off of close. If you get into it early, understand the risk. It's not confirmed because the time frame has not closed. Okay? But we got a green diamond. Last time we got a green diamond, 300% run. We got a 64, but no triggers to sell, but you can go ahead. Right? Once I get to this daily above, guess what? I'm looking at the daily time frame. Okay, same thing here. Okay, green diamond. I don't even know what that run was, but we can go ahead and take a look here. Boom, to somewhere here. 237%, 300%. We have a 96% with the top of this channel coming into play. I'll go ahead and take a nice 100% return. That is on the weekly. And we got this flip right here. Boom. MACD's curling. Looks good to go to me. So yeah, that's how I use the indicator. Now there's going to be rules, and I will have an ebook coming out. But that's how I use it. If things don't match up, the trade does not need to be made. Okay, here's your Archer. I guess what? I didn't buy these. Why? We're under the moving average. And what do I mean by under the moving average? Let's talk about that just a little bit. The high of a candle. I want the high of the candle to be under. So, not trading. Boom. High of the candle is no longer touching or above the moving average. Okay, look at the high of all these candles are at the moving average or above the moving average, right? So I'm still trading this, not trading this, not trading this, right? Nothing. So what am I doing? I switch to the weekly. If we can get a quick weekly looking like this, right? Cool. Stick with the weekly. We're not far from the moving average. The weekly's looking like we're curling up, right? We're staying right there with it. I think HIMS is on the same page, right? We're just barely above. We have a good support line, and we have curling happening. I'll stick to the weekly. I'm not going to go to the monthly to go look at that. I'll stick to the weekly, okay? So that's how that works. That's what I'm looking at. If any questions come up, please let me know. I'm here for your help. Go ahead and join the community. Go ahead and get the indicator while you still can at the price that it still is. And I appreciate your guys' support. I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks.